even. He owns an impressive professional record, 64 victories, only 9 defeats, 46 of those wins coming by way of knockout. Wearing red, trimmed with white, he is a 10-time world title holder. He's the former middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, and heavyweight champion of the world from Pensacola, Florida, Roy Jones Jr. And his opponent, ladies and gentlemen, fighting.
So I took a trip to Wilmington, Delaware to see former #1 pound-for-pound guy, Roy Jones Jr. fight in Wilmington, Delaware against Bobby Gunn, who's more known for the bare knuckle boxing circuit than he is in boxing. And I tell you what, it was a packed house, standing room only. I saw some boxing trainers, some former boxers. Nate Campbell was in the house. Tyson Fury, Larry Holmes, Michael Spinks, all were invited. I didn't bump into any of them. I did bump into Tommy Brooks, the former trainer of Mike Tyson, Evander Holyfield. And so one fight of note on the undercard was undefeated junior middleweight Kanat Islam. And he took on a guy, Robson Assis. And in the first round, there was a headbutt, and it was, at least from my vantage point, looked like a bad cut that Islam suffered. And despite that, Islam came on strong and scored the knockout of the night as he flattened Robson. And Islam improves to 23-0, 19 knockouts. And they asked him, well, what was next? And he said, hey, I want a piece of Saul Canelo Alvarez. And he was also asked the Mayweather question, and I didn't get the total. I didn't completely understand what he was saying, but basically along the lines of Mayweather he wouldn't take a fight. Basically saying once he saw his power. So, but Islam looked sharp. He looked sharp, and he came in and did what he had to do, and the crowd showed their appreciation. I wish this was a venue where they had the instant replay up so the fans could see the punch again in slow motion. The house was packed, standing room only. Give a shout out to Mark Abrams. Give a shout out to my colleague David Thomas. Shout out to Paul Paparazzi Jones, Justin, his brother Justin Jones. Shout out to T Street Controversy, Terrell Van. And then in the main event, Roy Jones took on, and this was for the WBF Cruiserweight, the title. Shout out to Boxer, Mr. James Gibbs from the WBF. And Roy came out, he tapping gloves as he walked into the ring with the fans, and very animated. The fight isn't what you would call an exciting fight. Gunn was overmatched. Roy was in there playing around, throwing shots to the head, shots to the body, just one at a time, and circling. couple of the rounds seemed like they were 2-minute rounds, to be honest. Not a whole lot of action. And Gunn didn't really, when they were in the center of the ring, he couldn't land a thing, didn't land anything. There were a few times where Jones had his back against the ropes, and Gunn would, to his credit, would throw shots to the body, throw shots to the head, and try. Gunn, the problem, and I went to Box Rec, and it's odd. I can see the height and the reach for every cruiserweight on there, but when you get to Bobby Gunn, he's listed at 5'11", and I'm looking for the reach, and I didn't see it, which speaks to my point. There was another Bobby some years ago named Bobby Ches that Gunn reminds me of, and the one thing when you see fighters, a lot of times you always say there's just something's missing. The one thing missing with Bobby Gunn, in my opinion, I don't know because I need to see the numbers, but just based on the eye test, is that he's reach challenged, if you will. His arms are not, they're too short, and when you try to brawl, even if you try to get inside, but when you're on the outside, you just can't do it. And if you ever saw Bobby Ches fight, he was kind of unorthodox, but when it was just pure boxing, you could see that he just didn't seem to have the reach. Like, that's the challenge he had to overcome, just not having any type of reach, and that's what it seemed to be with Bobby Gunn. Notwithstanding the fact that Roy Jones was just a lot faster than him, and Roy looked sharp, he looked lightning quick. Roy Jones Jr. did something, had he done in his prime, which you never saw in his prime, he's doing now. Maybe out of survival mode, like this is the only way you're gonna keep from getting knocked out, even with guys your age or faded or journeyman or what have you. He threw jabs, and I mean he jabbed more in this fight than I saw Roy Jones jab in like 2-3 years in his prime. And just shots to the body, shots to the head, clowning with Gunn, clowning with the fans. When Gunn did throw a punch on occasion that landed, Jones would shake it off, look at the fans and say, "I'm not hurt," and so on and so forth. And he just was having fun in there, laughing, smiling, joking, doing a little dancing, doing a little partying, a little head movement. If you've never seen him fight live and you saw him last night on the pay-per-view, you see remnants. You see why he was who he was in his prime. Still lightning quick. Not as quick, but just and you have to consider the opponent in front of him. So and understand that Roy Jones's prior fight was with a guy who won a contest and never fought professionally in his life. So very interesting. Very interesting. After the fight, Gunn was quoted as saying, I was enjoying him beating me up, and I think he beat 90% of the people in the world. I fought some good men in my life, great men. He's the greatest man I ever fought in life. Jones said Bobby Gunn's a tough competitor and a great man. Took a lot of guts for the undefeated bare knuckle champ to step in the ring with me, and he showed how much heart he has tonight. Yeah, so through 6.5 or 6 3/4 rounds, it was just Roy joking around, just kind of toying with the overmatched Gunn. And then late in the 7th, Roy Jones landed a sweet combination, punctuated with a big right hand that Gunn kind of staggered and I mean really staggered, did a dance, and Roy for some reason kind of just backed off and said, no, I'm not going to go out like that or let you go out like that. And I thought he did. Everybody was like, there were a little bit of boos, but not many, but everybody was kind of scratching their head wondering what was going on. My assumption was that I thought that until I saw a replay later on, I thought he stepped on Gunn's foot. Maybe he was saying, okay, that's why you were staggered, but that's not the case. And I'll leave a replay below to let you know, or let you see. Shout out to Terrell Van T Street, and I'll leave a replay that was on Twitter of the punch that shook Gunn, and then it shows it again, but there was no stepping on the foot or anything of that nature. So anyway, Kanat Islam looked good, man. He looked good. As far as Jones, he said he'll keep fighting. If he keeps feeling good like he felt last night, he's going to keep fighting. And then one of the names they brought up was Emamu Mayfield out of Jersey, who's just as old as Roy. But hey, at least I'll say this. Mayfield is 6'3" and has a 78-inch reach. So you won't have reach problems in that fight. And he's 26-10-2 with 19 knockouts. He hasn't fought, I believe, in a couple of years. But to his credit, he was the IBF champion at Cruiserweight, some 20 or so years ago. So Roy, I think, is going to continue on this circuit. And while some people have quoted or suggested that he's not looking to win a championship, he just wants to fight, I look at it as there's still some money. When you draw crowds like this, like he did last night in Delaware, I don't have the announced or the official count of people, but when you draw people, I think what Roy Jones Jr. is trying to do is still trying to earn some income. And I think he wants to be Cruiserweight champion because he was, and I might say this wrong, he was middleweight, super middleweight, light heavyweight, heavyweight, and he never made that stop at Cruiserweight to win. So if he does that, even at an advanced age, if he just wins 1/4 of the Cruiserweight title, it puts him in the history books. And I think that might be his goal at this point in his career, just to put icing on the cake. And then maybe, just maybe, the man will go home and hopefully between now and then not get hurt in his attempt to do it. So while the question to many should he still fight, I think the answer is whether he should or shouldn't. He is, and we'll see how it plays out. Hopefully it'll be not a sad or more importantly not a tragic ending for Roy Jones Jr. So I'll leave a picture on the website. I'll leave a picture of him wearing the belt that he won, and his comment was Pensacola in the house. I'll show a video of the knockout, and there was something else I said I was gonna put on there, and I can't recall. But anyway, I'll leave a link to the website so you can see the picture of him and the belt, and then we'll see what else. So we'll catch you on the next one.